Well, it's hump day. That's right, middle of the work week. We're almost to the weekend, you guys. And this is a glorious day because today will be the final episode where I talk about the miniseries Shogun, the reimagining, if you will, of a classic. So we're talking about episode 10 today, the finale, A Dream of a Dream, because somebody thinks they're smart with that title. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this. This is important. We'll see you in a minute.
Previously on the Nerdy Ronin Network.
Hey, everybody. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to say thanks to Blackout Coffee Company. Let me tell you something. This company has some of the greatest coffee I've ever had. No joke. You know I talk about coffee on here. There's several companies that I really like. But Blackout Coffee Company has some of the fantastic flavors and fantastic prices. And I don't want to talk out of turn, but in the description down below is a promo code to save you some money if you want to make an order for Blackout Coffee Company. You will not be disappointed. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy hump day to each and every one of you. New subscribers, hello. Old subscribers, hello. We're so glad you are here today as we conclude the miniseries that is Shogun. Thankfully. Whew, I'm ready to get back to normal. Like and subscribe, please, if you haven't already. We appreciate it. It lets us know we're doing a great job. In the description down below are links to all the things we find wonderful. There's coffee, there's shirts, our merch page, our website. It's all there for you to look at your leisure. And some codes to save you a couple of your hard-earned dollars. Ooh, buddy. All right. We got to talk about this. We're talking about episode 10, A Dream of a Dream, in this delightfully pretend miniseries, reimagining, whatever you want to call it, of Shogun. But first, I have a question. Do you remember those movies, those really horrible fan fiction movies? What were they? The Twilight series. Do you remember those? The werewolves and the sparkly vampires and the menage a trois that was that love triangle? Do you remember those? Yeah, they're garbage, I know, but I want to tell you something about the last one. Of that entire series, because everybody has seen it at some point in time for the most part, the final movie was special. You had this big build up to this huge battle. It was discussed the entire movie. And then you have this huge, glorious battle. People that you care about die. Others that you hate don't. And then the bad guys lose, etc., etc. And then suddenly you realize it's all fake. Because it's all in the girl who can see the future. She's seeing the future. It's all in her head. But watching that movie, you do not feel like you got ripped off because you get to see a glorious, fantastic, bloody, horrible battle. So the stakes are paid off that you've been stressing about the whole movie once you see this battle, even though you find out it's fake. It hasn't happened yet. And then in the end, the bad guys run away because they realize they're going to die. But you got to see the payoff. Do you understand? So as horrible as those movies are, I've never forgotten that last movie because you got all this buildup and then the payoff. And then, just kidding, but it was it was delightful because you got to see the payoff, right? All right. Keep that in mind. Now we're going to talk about Shogun episode 10, where absolutely nothing happens. All right? The one guy that's been back and forth the whole time, who was a good actor and a good character in the show, he gets his head lobbed off. All right? And you find out that Blackthorn, who's the main character in the original and is just a side character that you see once in a while in this, Mariko, before she got blown to bits and lost her head, asked the church, hear me now, asked the church not to kill Blackthorn because they were planning to kill Blackthorn. You with me? And so the church agrees. So Blackthorn survives only because of the strong, wonderful love that him and Mariko have not shown through a 10-hour series. There was about 3 minutes of them being in love. But this is a love story. Oh, my head's going to explode, I promise. I'm wearing this tight hat so it doesn't while I tell you what's happening. And then, on top of that, Toranaga. See, when this was being talked about and it was about to come out, they said, the people that made it said, we've changed the way this is looking at it. This is no longer about the Blackthorn character, the white guy. Instead, this is going to be in the view of Toranaga. But yet he's only in about 3 minutes of the show. Like, yes, he's in a couple episodes prominently. But for the rest of it, there's like whole episodes he's not even anywhere to be found. And then in a couple episodes, he's got the cough, and he gives up. And exactly what I told you was going to happen, happens. The end episode, no battle. But they talk about what's going to happen in a month, the battle that will happen then. Because of Mariko giving her life, Lady O has decided she's sick of being the bad guy. So her army's not going to show up. And without her army, the bad guys can't defeat Toranaga. So you got all this build-up, 9 episodes of build-up. You with me? I mean, it's been stressful, and nothing's really happened, and we're waiting on this big battle. And here we are, episode 10, and there's no battle. Nope, Toranaga just explains to the audience and to the character he's about to behead that he's never going to let Blackthorn go home. Firstly. And secondly, because Toranaga was so great as a chess player and he sent Mariko to die. Because she died, her former best friend has decided to not let her army, the biggest army, take part against Toranaga. So he says to the guy he's about to kill, he says, so in a month, when this big battle starts and we all show up for this battle, and Mr. Bad Guy over there is going to get a little note, and it shows this. He's going to get a note that says, haha, we're not coming. Meh. And so they lose, and I win. What? So you got 9 episodes of build-up. All this stuff happens, and there's going to be this. It's gonna be the new Game of Thrones. I don't know if you remember this. Game of Thrones had battle in it, and blood, and stakes, along with all the nudity. This episode, or this show, had 9 episodes build up and no payoff, which is why I brought up the Twilight movie, the last one. I don't even remember. I mean, I don't care enough to remember the name, but the point was that there was a payoff. So you can appreciate that in storytelling, in good storytelling. In this show, they've basically sidelined the white guy because can't have a white savior in Hollywood, okay? And then the Asian, the Shogun, the Asian character, they basically sidelined him too. He's just a bit part. And the reality is this show was about Mariko, who they picked a horrible actress for, and Lady O, which is hardly in the movie or in the show at all. They took all the bullet points from the book, and then they rewrote everything else. So let me ask you a question. Now, I understand that most everybody loves this show. They think it's fantastic. But why? Because you have no context to appreciate it with. Most of you that like the show have never watched the original or read the book. So all you have to go on is the fact that this mediocrity is not as bad as a lot of other things we get. So you assume it's good. I mean, the people that rewrote this, that reimagined it, didn't even bother looking up the character that Blackthorn's based on. He never left the Japans. He stayed there till he died in his 50s. But what'd they do? And this is where they thought they were smart, a dream of a dream. They have a couple of scenes of him as an old man in England with grandchildren. That doesn't happen. So that was basically a dream that he's having while he's still unconscious from the bomb blast that killed Mariko. Because weak white dude. Everybody else is fine, other than some hearing loss, but he's in a coma until after she's buried. Just stupid. It's just horrific writing. Sorry. There was no payoff. Over 10 hours of a show with no battles in it. None. Not a war at all. Have you read the book? Now, Bushido Blues pointed this out to me, and I understand where he's coming from. This book, if you read the original book, it's not a joyful book. It's not a happy book. And it's pretty pointless, other than it's a journey from point A to point B. And it shows how the world and the characters grow and become different throughout the book. But there's no happy ending, my friends. It's just a journey. And I believe that Hollywood doesn't know how to handle that. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a diversity hire thing. I don't know if it's just somebody's got something on somebody else so they get a job that they have no experience doing. This show was awful. A lot of build up, a lot of confusion, and no payoff. Sorry. It was crap. I give it a 1 squeaky chair out of all the squeaky chairs. Next week, we'll be back with international movies and TV shows on Wednesdays. Thank goodness. All right, I have to go. If everything is all right with Squeaky's travel plans, he's supposed to be back here Thursday night. So he will be here for Friday morning. But I'm fully aware that sometimes when traveling, things go sideways. So we'll see. If he misses a layover or something, he may not be here. But I'm looking forward to it. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your week. Thanks, as always, for being here. For Michael, the microphone, Bob, squeaky chair wherever he is this very moment, and this big, fat, happy nerd. See you on Friday.